Okay, so you guys just missed everything because I just did a 20-minute video of completely dissecting the Zakk Wylde Gibson Custom, and DJI screwed me once again. So we are not connected to DJI, we are just shooting right from the camera. I don't know what's going on with it, but this is like the third video I've completely lost. So anyways, Zakk Wylde Custom. And I bought this, I bought it from Lovey's Guitars in California. Got a pretty good deal on it because I thought it was just missing the original case. However, when I did get it and it arrived, I noticed that it had, the pickups were changed and the pots were also changed. It still had the original 3-way switch and input jack, but other than that, it was molested. So I bought the original case for it. If you guys look into the previous videos, that's laying there. It did come with the American COA and the American Owner's Manual and the warranty card and all those attributes. And it also came with Japanese COA because at some point in its life, it went to Japan and it probably lived over there for quite a while and then went to California, and that's probably where I got it from Lovey's. So I'm assuming all this was changed in California, but upon unsoldering all this stuff, I mean, they did an absolute hack job. I mean, this was the cover they had on the input jack wire going through. You can see they just melted the crap out of that. All their soldering was really, really boogered up. I had to unsolder this ground in order to get the input jack out. This black wire was grounded to that, and then they had this yellow wire attached to it as well. It was just an absolute mess in there. And the other thing that I did notice too is all around the inside here, I mean, look at what they did. I can't believe that they heated it up and melted that many spots just putting in a couple pots. I mean, I don't even really know what I'm doing, and I could have did a better job than that. That's just crazy. So anyways, I took everything out of it. The original 3-way jack, or the switch, 3-way switch, they rewired this and took off the EMG wiring. So I'm going to unsolder all this stuff, and I'm going to use the cloth pushback wire because when you put this into the bus, you're not needing the ground on the external part here anyhow. You're just plugging in that one single wire on the bus. So there's no point in having this braided pushback wire when all we need is this cloth pushback wire. So I will be redoing the switch in this wiring. The rest of the wires, if I had plastic wire, I'd go ahead and use it because everything in this EMG kit is plastic wiring. I am an anti-plastic wire guy, so I like to do the cloth or the metal pushback. But long story short, everything in this kit is just plastic wires. So it will have some cloth wiring here on the 3-way switch, but that's it. But before I get to installing all this stuff, the first thing I need to do is really clean it good because that was the whole reason I took it this far apart. The 3-way switch had to come out to be resoldered anyhow, and so did the input jack. I figured, you know what, I might as well take off all the tuners and the studs and all that stuff and the strap locks. I actually need to get the input jack plate off. Maybe I can just leave that on there. But anyhow, I wanted to be able to get a really good clean on it so you can see on the headstock what I'm talking about. Now that everything is out of the way, I'll be able to clean all that stuff off really good and have a nice polish completely across it instead of just getting up next to it, because that's how all that garbage gets built up around there anyhow. So the first thing I always do is I start with the fretboard, and I have several different toothbrushes here. I got a medium one, I got a soft one, and then I have a soft one that's really wore out. So depending on what I'm doing, depends on which brush, how nasty it is and stuff. So this one I'm thinking the middle of the road because it is pretty disgusting. I use the Fingerboard cleaner prep. So I use all the Dunlop products. So I have just about everything under the sun that they make. Just love their products. So you just liberally squirt down the fretboard. And this is the only time that you'll ever see me use a washcloth on a guitar. And the only reason that I use this on the fretboard is because I don't have to worry about it leaving scratch marks on it. Now, this guitar might not matter because it does have some wear on it, but again, there's no point in making it look any worse. So I always use the Fender or Dunlop polish cloths when it comes to touching any of the surface of the guitar. But this works really good for the fretboard because it is abrasive and it will wipe out a lot of stuff. And the other reason that I do the fretboard first is, as you can see here, as you do this, it goes all over the place. And it comes out pretty nasty. So when you do this, you're not like trying to scrub the dog dew out of the bottom of your tennis shoe or your boot. You just real light pressure, let the brush do the work, and let the cleaner be the lubricant, and it will get all the grunge out from beside the frets and clean it up real good. And as you're doing this, it gets on the guitar and everything. So that's why this is always the first step, because you don't want a clean guitar and then do this. So let's just do a real quick wipe here and see how bad it was. So you see that? That's nasty. So I will squirt it one more time since it's so dirty. And this time I won't use the toothbrush. I'm just going to basically wipe it dry and move on. After I get the cleaning process done on the paint, then I'll come back to the fretboard. Yeah, that's nasty. And I'll come back to the fretboard and do the lemon oil, because it possibly could get, I might as well just wipe that a little bit before it stains it. Anyways, I'll do the lemon oil after I clean the body, because then the lemon oil can soak in for a minute and then I wipe it off. If I get any on here, the wax is going to take off any spots of lemon oil. So again, the only time you'll see me use a washcloth on a guitar is on the fretboard. And it came out pretty nice. So once we get some lemon oil on there, it'll come out really good. But you see how it's running around the back of the neck and stuff? That is why I do it first. So just wipe all of this stuff off real quick, and we'll get to the polishing part. I start with the back. Let me go ahead and take this and wipe up the splatters. That's the one thing that I really like about these mats that I made. You just wipe them right off and you're good to go. Oh, it's up here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out. All right. So start with the 65 cleaner. Is that just cleaner? That's cleaner and polish. So I squirt this on there real liberally. Set that there. Grab two clean ones. I always use one to wipe, one to dry. Just kind of want to get it all smeared around first. Get that cleaner on there. And I'm probably going to have to do this again because this is pretty dirty. It's coming out really nice though. Had they not set it up on a stand that wasn't nitrocellulose friendly, this guitar would pretty much be as clean as my last one. It actually came out pretty good. We're going to do it one more time though. Get the headstock real good. All right. That came out real good actually. By the time you put the tuners back on and cover up the impressions from it, it'll look really good. So check that out. And that's so far just the cleaner. Now let's take a good look at that headstock again and see how nasty it is. And this is why I like to take the tuners off, because you get such a better polish job. Another squirt. I'll let that set for a second. Come down here and squirt this. This stuff works really good. Now again, this is just a cleaner really. I mean, it says polish, but it doesn't do the job like when I use the waxes. On really nice guitars, like well, I don't have any of the Gibsons hanging up now, but well, even those. So anything that's brand new like those, or the Gibson 2021, or my dad's custom painted studio, this is the stuff that you want to use. And when you got something really nice and new, you don't even need a deep clean, but the platinum wax, this stuff is just awesome. Works really good on brand new guitars, makes them look like they just came out of the box. I use this is what I'm going to be using on the Zakk Wylde, is the Carnauba Wax. This stuff is really good too. It works well on the older guitars that have already got scratches and stuff like that on it. It's a little more abrasive than the platinum. The platinum stuff is more like just a polish than it is a compound. And this is going to need sprayed again too. It's got a lot of crud on it. Actually, what I'm seeing is just below the strings here, just a little bit of wear. It makes it look like, sorry for bumping that. I might be able to get a little more of that off. I do have in a box over there, the Dunlop thing, or the kit that I buy comes with like wet sanding papers where you spray a little bit of that cleaner polish on there, and then you do the little wet sandpaper and wipe it off. I don't like to do that because every time you do that, you are taking down some of the nitrocellulose finish on it. So no point in wearing that out. What would be really nice right now is if I could take this down to lathe, have them run it on the polishing wheel, all that blemish right there from touching it and stuff would come out of it. But I am not nowhere near going down there right now, so we're going to just do what we can here. And the other thing that they had changed out on this was the strap locks. They put big giant black strap locks on it. So I got the original Gibson ones that were supposed to be on it to put back on it in the proper color as well. So again, my whole goal and objective to this build is to make it the way it was when it was bought new. So most of the stuff will be all original except for the pickups, pots, and a couple wires in it. But it will have its original case and all the paperwork. And that was one of my big things back when I first started collecting. Any guitar I bought, I had to make sure it had all the original paperwork. If it was missing something, I would search it down on eBay or Reverb, and I would buy the missing warranty card or whatever it was. And I'd always buy a strap that matched the guitar really well and looked good with it. And make little packages. And I just kind of got tired of that because it really wasn't worth spending that extra time and money making it complete like that, because people don't want to pay for it. So certain things like this, my 2021, I went that extra step and made sure I had most of everything that it comes with. But not every time can you do that. Like my studio, the Cherry Red Studio, I bought that out of Japan. That's the other thing too. When you go to wax, always make sure you dig out anything that's in the hole that squirts it out, because if you get a little hard rock of wax, it's like throwing a pebble on your guitar from the driveway and you're just scratching things. So if you're going to use this kind of wax, always make sure that the outlet of it doesn't have any hard wax in it, because you're just going to scratch the crap out of your guitar when you start doing what I'm doing right now. And that's just a no good situation. I learned that the hard way on a guitar that didn't have scratches on it. I was bummed out, I gotta tell you. But accidents happen. The only problem is when one happens, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it costs you money. Alright, I'll go ahead and hit the headstock while I'm right here. Let that dry just for a second. That's the other thing too. Don't ever let it, like on a car, don't ever let it completely just dry, because it will be a bear getting it off. So that's the wet one. Here we go. While this stuff is wet, it's hard to get off because it just keeps smearing, because obviously it's not dry. But all you got to do is just keep working yourself around in new spots. That's not off yet, but I got the majority off, and I spreaded it around and worked it in. And do the same up here. You get a way better polish once you get all that stuff out of your way. That's coming out great. Yeah, I may even hit that one more time. And I forgot to do the lemon oil, so I better do that next. And then I'll do the back and flip it over. Do the front the one more time. But yeah, that's coming out great. If this thing was on a polishing wheel, it would come out like brand spanking new. Yeah, look at that. That looks really good. And check out this headstock now. So way, way better when you take off the tuners, because you get a better polish out of it. You don't have all that stuff in your way stopping you from cleaning everything. All right, you hit this back of the headstock. and then the sides of it. And we'll go ahead and get the lemon oil on it and then redo the front of it. Yeah, it even took off several marks that look like scratches. I'm not sure what to do on the neck. I guess I'll wax that too. It's got a satin finish on it. I have satin finish polish right here. I'll just use this stuff. It can't hurt, right? It's meant for guitars. I will go ahead and wipe it off real quick though. It's got a really nice 3-piece maple neck on it. My other one, you could distinctively tell all 3 pieces because there was one part that was like really flamed out, and then there was a part that was like this where it just had real tight green, and the other side had like bird's eye and stuff in it. This one is not as dramatic. Yeah, the stand rash is unfortunate. Alright, back of the headstock and then the sides. Took that mark off too. All right. Yeah, that's coming out really good. I'm going to polish the front of the headstock again. Let me get this other side. Yeah, it's coming out really good. A lot of marks that I thought were going to be permanently stuck there have come off. Yeah, this came out really good. So let's take a look at that headstock now. Super clean, look at that. That's the best way to clean the headstock, is just get rid of the tuners. Because then you get rid of all the marks and everything, any buildup that you wouldn't be able to clean otherwise that's stuck around the tuners and all that. It all comes off. So it doesn't take away any wear, like player's wear and stuff, but it really cleans the guitar itself really good. And it takes away stupid blemishes that shouldn't be there, like a lot of the marks that I just rubbed off that didn't look like they were going to come off otherwise. So that really cleaned it up. So let's go ahead and get the fretboard oiled, and I'll go ahead and wax the headstock on the front one more time. And then this will be all done as far as the cleaning process. And we can start putting all the EMG stuff back in it. Oop. I really love these ebony fretboards. My 76 Custom had an ebony fretboard, and it was just awesome. I'm not sure if this is real ebony or not, but it is definitely very dark. I'm pretty sure that this is real ebony. It's kind of hard to date these things. I know this is the newer one because I have the big giant, or the little black book, and the last one I had the big giant COA. So now I'm going to let that set while I re-wax this top again. And I think we'll be good to go here to start putting the pickups in. And let's stick it on the guitar. Yeah, when you're polishing it with all the knobs and everything on there, you just can't get a real nice, even polish. And it doesn't take all the crud off. There's still got crud hiding beside all kinds of parts. So if you're going to go this far to do something to the guitar, you might as well just take it all the way apart and clean it really good. And I just stuck my hand in lemon oil. It's a habit to grab it and hold it. And there goes my rag. Not much is working out tonight. Lost 20-minute video taking this apart. Dropping my rags everywhere. That's annoying. Alright, I'll come back and wipe that again. I'll get this before it dries. Alright. Now get my washcloth, find a clean spot, wipe this fretboard off. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And I like to wipe it until it's completely dry, because if you don't, then it looks like it's got wet spots on it, like you armor rolled something and didn't take the time to wipe it off. All right, so there it is, all cleaned up. Now we can start to put it back together. So this actually came out way nicer than I anticipated. Look at that fretboard, the headstock, back of it, came out really good. That stand rash is the absolute worst, but there's nothing I can do about that. I'm getting fingerprints all over it, but there it is. It's all done as far as getting it prepped to go back together. The next step I got to do, which I'm not going to do on the camera, I'm going to go ahead and polish all the tuners and the truss rod cover because it's gold. Tailpiece and bridge. Yeah, the other trick to that too, and you go back to your toothbrush, this guitar cleaner polish, if you spray that on here and then just lightly work it around, it gets all that gunk off that is around all the little pieces that you can't polish with the cloth. So that cleans all that garbage off of there. So that's a little trick with that. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and hang that on the rack. I'm going to polish all of the parts and everything, and then we'll do another video of putting it back together. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.